Stanley Kubrick referred to the secrets he embedded in his films as Easter eggs, and much work has been done covering these Easter eggs. I'm an Easter egg hunter myself, and I think the biggest one is the Kubrick Syncography. Much like my work with the overlays method I've covered in previous videos, if you take these two films, The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut, and you take the shorter of the film, The Shining, and we'll reduce the opacity here to 50%, and we're playing them on top of one another. When they begin, you can see that the intro music is syncopated. There's many scenes that are syncopated. If the films were the same length, you would know the sync is up. So let's just cut right to the end of The Shining and see what's going on in the longer film, Eyes Wide Shut, when The Shining ends.
She OD'd. There was nothing suspicious. Her door was locked from the inside. The police are happy. End of the story. Come on. It was always going to be just a matter of time with her. Yes, I have.
Dr. Harford is talking here to Victor Ziegler. We meet him at the beginning of the film.
Victor, Helena,
Alice, Bill, Alice, Merry Christmas.
Ziegler is known for the scene with the overdosed prostitute. When we syncopate Eyes Wide Shut with The Shining, an interesting thing happens with that scene.
Bill, thanks for coming.
Talking to Tony. Is Tony one of your animals?
Had a little accident here.
No, he's the one that lives in my mouth.
Well, she was...
Tony says imaginary friend.
She was shooting up, and she had a bad reaction.
If you were to open your mouth now, could I see Tony?
what did she take?
No,
Speedball or a snowball,
Why not?
whatever the hell they call it. You know, it's heroin.
because he hides.
Where does he go?
Heroin.
My stomach.
Anything
Does
else?
Tony ever tell you to do things?
We had a couple of drinks, nothing really, some champagne. That was it.
How long is she?
I don't want to talk about Tony anymore.
Let's do a basic mainstream internet search on that name Ziegler. Well, the first thing that I find is the Ziegler case, also known as disaster transfer case. And this is meant for transporting human remains without a casket that has a hermetic seal on it. Okay, so we have a disaster transfer hermetic seal. Ziegler is also the Ziegler system, part of CAT machinery. You can get a Ziegler power system, portable electric stations, maybe for cooling down your Ziegler case. Ziegler is a German surname that also means bricklayer or mason. So we have the masons stacking up bodies in the Ziegler cases, and Dr. Harford finds out about it. He has the wool pulled over his eyes, the speck removed from the eye. This is biblical symbolism that's embedded in Michelangelo's art. Allegedly, the Sistine Chapel, I've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, it illustrates Luke 16. Maybe it should be the Luke 16 Chapel, but that's subject for another video. I don't want to get too far off topic here, but we have this idea of heroin and tar as this thick, dark material from underworld and Sheol, and heroin being dope, manteca being tar, and these words, dope meaning information. That used to be a slang word for information. Then it was heroin and marijuana. Now it kind of means just drugs in general. So we're digging up some information from the underworld and getting a veil removed. This is something that happens to Dr. Harford symbolically, and it's something that happens in the overlays method. We have the Freemason iconography and the draining of the swamp embedded in the Goya symbolism. Right here we have Swamp Thing, about 150 or so years before he's published in DC Comics. He's embedded in the work of Francisco Goya. We have Donald Trump and 4chan Pepe symbolism in there as well, among other pop culture iconography. Seems precognitive kind of like the Easter eggs from Stanley Kubrick and other films like The Matrix. And there's a kind of Gnostic mythopoetic symbolism embedded in many of these films, from The Truman Show to the Lego Movie. Most recently, you've got Ready Player One and Free Guy. They're all pointing towards something that I think Philip K. Dick was getting at, along with some other science fiction writers in the mid-20th century. And I've shown some of that symbolism of the meeting of the mirror, the reflection, and the co-occurrence of opposites mapping onto this precognitive faculty, and the COVID symbolism embedded right in the Salvator Mundi with the blue masks. And when I think of blow and blue, I think of, the verb, past tense, blue, as in the spirit and the breath. The pneuma, or the ruach, in the spirit of the age, is embedded in that co-creative faculty product of the artwork, as well as the Stanley Kubrick films. And it looks like Stanley might have known what he was doing and syncopated these films. So we've got Catman Crothers, or Scatman Crothers, talking to Danny about something maybe he shouldn't know. So you've got the cat system with the Ziegler case, and we've got Scatman talking to the kid. That's the kid man revealing something that maybe we shouldn't be talking about. So Daniel learns about the lion's den, and I think maybe the secret in the sauce and how they make the sausage, so to speak. And then we've got this idea of the warning and the too much information, and the warning about the son knowing too much, and that's embedded in the scenes that syncopate when, Dr. Hartford has to take his mask off.
You are free. But I warn you, if you make any further inquiries, or if you say a single word to anyone about what you have seen,
did you know,
there
Mr.
will
Thomas,
be the most
that
dire
your son
consequences for you
is attempting to
and your
bring an
family.
outside party into this situation?
Do you understand?
Did you know that?
No.
I'm sure that's all just a coincidence. Anyway, amongst the dozens of other syncopations throughout the co-video phenomenon of Kubrick cinema syncography between The Shining and Eyes Wide Shut, as in The Shining Eyes Wide Shut. It's a sentence or a larger statement. Anyway, within this interesting series of complete coincidences, I'll show you the scene where Danny's playing with his cat machinery attached to his ambulance, or maybe it's his Ziegler storage system. Anyway, we've got an orb on the table at the Sonata Cafe in The Eyes Wide Shut. That seems to map onto the Apollo moon mission symbolism previously speculated about the curious Room 237 reveal. Of course, Room 237 itself is revealed to be something a bit different once we apply that overlays, but I can't really show you that on YouTube, I don't think.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I got here just as you were finishing your last sips.
Oh, that's all right. The band sucked tonight anyway.
What are you drinking?
Vodka and tonic, please.
Thank you.
So what brings you out at this hour?
I have a patient here.
You live in the village?
No, we have an apartment on Central Park West.
You're married?
9 years.
Any kids?
Yes, we have a 7-year-old daughter. How about you?
I've got a wife and 4 boys in Seattle.
You're a long way from home.
Yeah, well, you gotta go where the work is.
Huh?
Thank you.
So is this your band?
No, it's just a pickup band.
Who do you normally play with?
Anybody, anywhere. As a matter of fact, I got another gig later tonight.
Playing somewhere else tonight?
Mom!
They only get started there around 2.
In the village?
Believe it or not, I don't actually know the address yet.
You don't?
No, it may sound ridiculous, but it's in a different place every time, and I only get it about an hour or so before.